Hello, this is Duntov. So today, as you can see, I'm here at the Hard Rock site. I am at the Caesars Palace parking deck right now. So this is a little different view of the parking deck. So I wanted to stop here, see if we could see anything different from here. Today's date is Monday, November 3rd, 2025. So from this side here, one thing we could see is the south side of the guitar tower. You can see how tall it's getting now. So again, this is the south facing side of the tower. Right in front, this is all the forum shops at the Caesars Palace Mall. I'll pan around to the right here, you can see the location we're in. You can see the Coliseum right there. Then, if I'm not mistaken, if you ever saw Caesars, this is like the original tower. If I had to guess, I'd say this one was the original tower here. And now they got all kinds of towers built all around, but if you ever look up like old school Caesars Palace, this would be the tower you would see. Then it would have all the fountains in front of it, in front of Las Vegas Boulevard. But yeah, we got the tower. Also, from here you can see the, let's zoom in. You can see the marquee sign there. It's all stripped down. I don't see any crew working on anything on it right now. Let me zoom in a little more. So not sure when they're going to start redoing it for the Hard Rock. And then if we come over this way, we can see that they have these concrete structures going up here. This would be the theater area. So I will go to my usual spot. I could get a better view without this building in the way, but just want to check it out from here. Alright, you can see all the forms up. I see one person up there. Alright, I don't see any of the crew in this area right now, but see how these structures, though, how they're putting all these temporary stairs in to get to the top to work on them. They actually both, the other one has it also. And if we go to the left here, we have this third one going up. Alright, before I move on, then the only other thing that I did notice is down here we can see that they're taking out more of the glass on this back side here. You can see right there all the glass, at least from this view, a couple of the floors. So let me zoom in, see if we could see anything inside. And there it just looks like stripped out room. That right there I'm trying to make out. Is that like where we could see through the other side of the building? It's hard to make out, but I mean, we got light obviously coming through. And then these all appear like that's the glass. You can see how each room has, they have it leaning up against the wall there. So those appear to be like the windows they take out, and then they, you know, eventually they'll get the glass out of there. All right, let me head on over to my usual spot. We could see down into that area a lot better. Okay, I've now moved to the other location, and we get a good view of these concrete structures that they're putting up here. Where, of course, that last view we just saw the top part, but you can see how tall these things are. And I do see a few of the crew walking up the stairwells in them. But the main thing that I'm noticing here that I want to look at is you can see here they're tearing all these lower windows out of the towers here. So I'm going to pan all the way over here to the left. Alright, if you look, you can see right now the different levels, those levels there, but then this level they still have like this white concrete facing, or you know, the whatever it is called. But then if we look over here, it looks like they're starting to remove it. Sorry for the shake, just being zoomed in so far. So just curious how they take that off, if they just cut it out, and then, because it doesn't appear like they're, you know, just busting it out. If you remember the Tropicana demolition, they just had those bobcats with the big arm on the front, and they were just, you know, pushing them right off the side of the building, but they can't do that here, so just wondering how they actually remove it. And then if we pan it over to this other wing, you can see how they have, looks like 3 levels removed over here. And I'll try zooming in. It looks like they put up the, like the safety fence in front of it. Yep, you can see right there. So curious to see how they're gonna start putting a new hard rock look on this building. You know, don't know exactly if it's just gonna be glass all the way up, or if they're still gonna have, I thought the rendering still had the stripes, you know, in between the different levels. So curious to see how they're gonna do that. But the rest of the building on this side, I do not see any other glass coming out yet. A lot more windows are open though. If you look on the building, you can see how the windows, they open from the bottom and they like tilt out. You can see a lot of the windows are open now. Don't know if they ever used, like in the summer, if they used air conditioning in these buildings still or not. With it being so open, I don't know if they would have, but maybe now that it's nice and cool outside, they, you know, just open the windows to get some ventilation in there. All right, this pile of material here is getting bigger. I gotta adjust my tripod. There we go. So it's getting bigger. They do have the giant dump truck still bringing loads of material in here, so not sure where they're getting it from, but it looks like this pile's bigger than it used to be. Now if we look down there, I do see the concrete pump. It looks like they've moved the arm around. You can see the arm extended right there. Do have the crane moving right in front of it. It appears like they're pumping concrete like right behind that crane there. You can see the arm going down, but then I can't make out. I don't see any of the crew back there working. You can see the concrete trucks in the background though, so they are pumping it down into there somewhere. If we look through the arm, the lower building there, you can actually see that they're starting to put up more like the steel studs. You look right here, so it appears like they're going to start enclosing some of that lower building there, you know, where it's been pretty much gutted out all this time. And now you can see all the studs going in, so I'm assuming they're going to start closing off this lower part of the building. And then they're working on this part here. Let's see if we could figure out what they're working on. See right there, the crane's picking something up. Just looks like a box with supplies in it, if I had to guess. Alright, something else I want to show here. So we have these villas, the original villas here, and next to it, you look at they've got like the ground like excavated and blocked off. So I'm wondering if they're getting ready to build something over here. This used to be all that staging area. They still have some of the stuff over here, but look down this way, it is all cleared off, and just curious what they're going to end up doing with this piece of the land. Alright, before I leave this area, I just want to check one more time. It does look like they took out a little bit more of the wall that I was showing a little bit ago. Yep, that opening looks bigger. And then if I go to the left, I do see someone else on this level doing something. just taken out. Looks like, I don't know if that's some of the trim or if that's part of the walls inside. So these concrete structures for this theater area are going up a lot taller, so this is going to be a pretty big area. You know, I'm not sure how tall this theater is going to be, but whatever they're building, these parts, you know, it's pretty tall. Actually, I'm going to zoom in. As I'm looking here, I see on this fence down here, it looks like some kind of rendering. Not sure, it could just be an advertisement like for the one of the contractors, but let's zoom in and see what it looks like. Alright, I can't read it. It kinda looks like it's in Spanish. Yep, if I had a guess, I mean it's very bright, but that looks like Spanish there, but I don't really see a rendering on there. It just looks like a sunset or something. And there is a sign over this way. Let's see if we can see if it says anything. Nope. Don't look like I can read anything on there, so. Alright, we got, looks like three bottom levels of the glass removed on this side. So I'm going to go over to the Treasure Island side and we're going to see what's going on over there. Alright, I'm still at Caesar's Palace as I was trying to find my way out of this parking deck. You can see there's a good view of the guitar tower from this side. And the one thing that I noticed that I didn't notice before, you know, like last week, is if we look on the edge of the tower, they have started putting the glass in over here. So we should be able to see that from the Treasure Island parking deck also, but as I was coming out I just saw it, so I'm like, I want to stop and see it. So I'm just going to zoom in a little from this side. We're going to check out what we can see. Alright, so the guitar there, and you can see right here how this is straight, so obviously this is not going to be part of the guitar itself, you know, the look of the guitar. So I'm curious how they're going to finish that, if it's just going to be like, you know, different color glass, or if it's not going to have glass at all, they'll like enclose it. And then if we show all the way down, you can see the different colors of glass. And then they do have one of the panels that is white. Don't know if that's a protective film or not. I would say it is. Or maybe something happened to a pane of glass and they have to wait for a new one. Not sure. But then you get a good look of the trim all the way around the glass, how they have it going up. So So this side's looking good. Let's see what this is on top. This very top row of the last row of glass. I could see some reflection up there. Just want to see if we could figure out what that is. Maybe it's more glass just stored in that. If I had a guess, I would say, yeah, those might be more panels waiting to get put into place. All right, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna make my way to Treasure Island on the other side there. Side here, this would be the north-facing side of the tower. All right, we got this front tower crane is lifting something right now. Let's see what we could figure out. Not sure where they're bringing this. There are some people right there, right on the edge of the top level, but we can see the tower crane swinging around even farther. So let's check out what they're doing. So from this angle, we look at the different levels here. It kind of looks like it's starting to curve back in. You can see where the crew is standing up here. And if we look down below, you can see these columns that are forming the curved shape of the guitar. They look like they're straight there, and then it kind of looks like they're coming back in right here. So it appears like the guitar shape is starting to swing back inward. I'm gonna zoom in. We'll try after this is down. Let's see if we can figure out what they're working on. It kind of looks like a rebar cage right there, and you can see how it lines up with the one below it. So I would say yes, the curve is starting to go back in. Not sure what the tower crane just lifted up there. You can see they're bringing that box back down, so they either had to pick something up or drop something off real quick, because that was only like a minute and then it's coming back down already. So whatever that was pretty quick. And then if we swing over to this other tower crane, they just dropped off it looked like they just dropped off this rebar cage up there. They just unhooked it. You can see some of the crew up there. Hard to make up. It looks like he's got some kind of rebar or something that person was just carrying. And that crane's swinging around now. Another beautiful day for November. Today's supposed to be, I think, 81 or 82 degrees, probably 75 right now. Very slight breeze. They say that we're about, I think it was 10 degrees above normal. It's supposed to be the low 70s right now. So it's been beautiful weather for November 3rd. All right, I do see someone here. It looks like they're putting, the safety fencing up. That might have been what I saw the person carrying on the other end. Might have just walked through with that. then we could see the crane swinging back up. So they're offloading and they're moving them things pretty quick. Alright, so if we look at this, I'm going to move over to the old Mirage tower. We did see last week that they were pulling the all the way up this side, how they took out the glass over there. It doesn't look like from this side that I could see anything else that's been taken out yet, so I'm gonna make my way down to the other end of the parking structure so we can look at this back wing, and we'll check out what's going on back that way. Alright, here's the back tower. If you remember last week, they were taking off the glass from like this elevator court area, and we can see that they got all of the glass off all the way top to bottom. And then they do have more of this, the lower structure glass out. And then we can see how they're going up now on this side here. So the way it's looking, the way they're doing it, you know, the back side facing Caesars and then this side here, you know, they might just gut this whole building first. You know, it kind of is just going to look like a new building, you know, going, and then, you know, it's looking different. All right, just to switch for a second, they did just lift another rebar cage up over here. We could see it going in over here. Appears like the crews are working on that one. You can see the people at the bottom of that one where, so they have one crew securing that one down, and then they're loading that other one on the other side there. And if we look to the left of the tower crane, you can see how they got like this rebar, like for some kind of wall that's gonna go, or basically, you know, you can see below. If you look at the levels below, you can see the wall in between, so that's gonna be that. They'll be putting forms up for that. But on this side, if you compare it to, we compare it to the floors below it, these cages seem taller right there. That might be how they always do it, where those ones will stick up farther. I'm not sure, but like this rebar wall they put in looks like it might be 2 levels tall compared to these ones below it. Maybe that's just how they do it, you know, they're just extra large on them certain ones. Not sure. Alright, well, we're on this side. Let's check out the side of the tower. We could get a good look of the glass going in down here. There you go. So you saw some of my earlier videos where we see how they lift the glass out from like the floor to above, and then they you know, pull the glass out and it hangs down. But now this is different because the way it's at this angle, not sure like what they use to pull it in from the bottom. I'm assuming it still hangs the same way, where they mount those metal tabs onto the sides. But it would be interesting to see them lower some of this glass down just to see how they pull it into place. Just trying to see, it looks like very bright, but that looks like that might be the lift right there. You can see the arm. If I had to guess, that's what they're using. That's the one that lifts the glass from above. There you go, that's what it looks like. See a lot of the crew up in there. Be kind of cool if they start doing the glass right now. All right, we're back to the old Mirage building. So they got, looks like 3 levels of lower glass done. They got all this center elevator core glass done all the way up. Now it looks like they might be setting up over here. You can see in between they have the glass that goes all the way up right here. I do see some people down on the ground this way. Can't make out what they're doing. It looks like they got some kind of wooden structure going there. I don't know if it's like to, oh, you can see the area. There's like an area that might be just the safety fencing they put up, but I can't make it out. It kind of looks like this might be one of the lifts. If I had to guess, I would say yes. It's just the reflection is so bright here. So this should be what's getting removed next. It looks like they're gonna start going up this thing here. So this might be another elevator core right here for all I know. You can see how it sticks out from the rest of the building. So if I had to guess, that's the next glass to come up, going all the way up the line there. There's a shot of both towers right there. All right, if you're not subscribed and you would like to follow along with this build, as well as the new Las Vegas Athletics ballpark getting built on the old Tropicana site, please subscribe to my channel, Raiders1967. That way you could follow along with us. So I do those 2 properties, and I throw a few other things in here and there. Like last night I posted my game day experience at the Raider game from yesterday. We did get another loss, but you know, I still like the shared experience. See all the Raider Nation when going around tailgating, and then just some of the game activities going on during the game. So if you'd like to follow along, please subscribe. Anything you liked about this video, appreciate a thumbs up. And then, like I mentioned in my last video, they also have a new thing called hype. If you enjoyed the video, you're allowed to hype. I think it's, someone said 3 times a week. That just helps promote the video a little bit more to get some exposure, you know, compared to these channels that have millions of subscribers. So it helps us smaller channels get some exposure. So I'd appreciate that also. Again, also love the comments. So I'd like to thank everyone who watches, and I will talk with you guys next time.